everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Ashley, also known as Colorado Killer Queen. I'm so happy to have you guys join me today. You may have noticed I have been out for the last few weeks. I got really sick, so I have not been able to do a review for the final Girls of Horror for a few weeks. But I'm back now, I'm feeling better, and I'm very excited to jump back into reviewing films and all the fun stuff that the final Girls of Horror gets down to. Speaking of, we do a live stream every month, so check us out on that. We always post date and time, so if you're following us, hopefully you are, please just keep updated with our stories, with our posts, and you will see when our next live is going to be. We've also added a new member since myself and Breanna joined. We also have Ariel with us now. She's wonderful, just like all the other girls are wonderful. We got Karen with Ocean Girls Film, or Ocean Chicks Film, sorry Karen. Katie with Popping the Popcorn. We got Brianna, we got Jennifer Tucci. We got Ariel, like I said, so we have a great group. We each review our weekly movie on our channels, so make sure to check all of us out. I am going to put down below all the information so that you can follow, like, subscribe to all the other girls' channels as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my review, and you also may have noticed I am in a different environment right now. I'm currently working on putting together just a better recording area at my house, so I'm in a temporary different area until I get that figured out, hopefully by my review next week. So this week we reviewed Mom, which was a 1991 horror movie about a man who discovers his mother, his sweet 80-year-old mother, has turned into a vicious monster. So this is an early 90s movie. I am obsessed with 90s movies, so already off the bat, I like it. But in all seriousness, I did really like this movie. I thought it was great fun. I actually loved it. I had so much fun watching it. It reminded me a lot of Dead Alive. If you have not seen that one, it's a cult classic. Check it out. But it reminded me a lot of Dead Alive in the sense of, you know, it's a man who is dealing with issues with his mother, we'll say, who is transforming one way or another into some type of monster. And the struggle between, you know, can you do what you need to do to someone you love in order to save other people's lives? And I think before we get into just kind of the overall surface details of the movie, I think that's one thing I pulled out that is a very interesting ethical, moral debate, which is, are your morals and ethics strong enough to where, let's say, your mom, your husband, your wife, your brother, whoever it is that you love very, very much, would you be able to, you know, call the police on them, put them in jail, even kill them if necessary? Could you bring yourself to do that if they're doing something wrong? For example, in this movie, the mom is a monster, so she's killing people, and her son has to decide, is there a way for me to stop my mother from killing people without me having to hurt her? And that's kind of the dilemma there that he deals with throughout the entire movie. So I really liked the characters in this movie. The main antagonist, who changes this man's mother into a werewolf. I think I've been calling her a monster. She's a werewolf. So that's how she transforms. But the main antagonist in this movie is so bizarre. Just this weird sort of Matrix looking, you know, almost seems like he's from another world or dimension or something. Guy, he talks weird, he just gives off a very strange vibe. He is a werewolf, and he goes around and changes people into werewolves, and he did so to this old lady. So that's kind of how that comes around. I think for me, I loved the practical effects and the makeup in this movie. Even though it was kind of corny, at the same time, I am just a practical effects person. Not that I don't appreciate CGI when it, you know, when it is applicable, but I love practical effects. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, so I like to see that whenever I can, and this movie really pulled it out. When it shows the transformations, it's really fun. Just, you know, the creepy long teeth, pointy teeth, eyes yellow change that happens. It's not as cool as, say, American Werewolf in Paris. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My mind is going out today. American Werewolf in London. It's not quite as cool as that one. When you see his transformation in that movie, it's like this slow moving kind of stop action shot of him turning into a werewolf. That doesn't happen in this movie, but it's still really cool to see what she looks like when she transforms into a werewolf. The other thing I loved about this movie is I thought they did a great job with the gore and the brutality. Pause. This is about to be a spoiler. I know this movie is from the 90s, so, you know, if you haven't seen it by now, you probably don't care that I'm spoiling it, but just in case you want to watch this and you haven't seen it yet, pause this now because I'm about to spoil it. One of the scenes that I thought was very cool but very disturbing was at the end. The mom finally reaches the point where she just cannot live with herself as this monster anymore. So she decides to take matters into her own hands, and she decides to end it. What she does, however, is the disturbing part. She goes into the kitchen. She's almost in, you know, weird state of mind, which I guess you would be if you knew what you were about to do, but she's kind of in a daze as she walks down into the kitchen, and she decides to light herself on fire. Very disturbing scene. The practical effects and makeup after she's done burning is really gross and wonderful. And it was actually a pretty sad scene because you realize that she just, this whole time she knows that what she's doing is wrong, but she can't help it. And so to see her get to the point where she decides, listen, like, I can't do this to people anymore. I can't live with myself as this monster. I can't put my son in danger. Can't put his wife, his pregnant wife, in danger. So she decides to do that, which, you know, is admirable in a way. And I don't know if I would have chose fire if it was me, but that was her own special way of going out. So I thought that scene was pretty sad, mixed in with some cool makeup effects. I also, let's see, I like the idea of being a monster and not having control of it, yet still having that human awareness. I think that's an interesting idea because it takes that element of, you know, you have your monster movie, but then when you put that on top of it, that emotion, it kind of turns into something else, which I feel is what this movie did. Let's see, there is a lot of sort of, I don't know, corny, we'll say, acting, especially in the beginning scene. It opens up with this woman who is stranded, who needs a ride, who's trying to hitchhike, I think, somewhere, and the main antagonist, his name is Nestor, I believe. he comes upon her and transforms and kills her. So that's immediately how the movie opens. So right away you're kind of getting that, you know, okay, this movie is gonna be, has some gore to it, has some brutality to it. They just started off right away like that. So that's really cool. And just seeing, I love the idea of taking something innocent and turning it evil. It's just a fun idea. That's why I really liked having this grandmother as the one who changed, because she's this sweet, adorable little grandmother who, you know, all you can think of is she bakes cookies and she's, you know, gonna be a great grandmother to, you know, the son or daughter. I don't think they said which one he was gonna have, but she's gonna be a great grandmother. It's fun to see that innocence played with, and it's fun to see, you know, how would you react if someone you love turned into a monster, you know? How would you handle that? So it's a very interesting movie, psychologically, as well as just a fun werewolf movie. It reminds me very much of the good old days when I would go to Blockbuster or to Hastings, or even City Market at that time had VHS and DVDs to rent. It reminds me of when I used to go to the video store, peruse the horror section, not even knowing what any of them are, just kind of picking out random movies, spending a Friday night picking out horror movies, going home with your friends, watching whatever you pick out. It has that vibe to it, and maybe it's just because it was made in the 90s. I don't know if that's it, but the whole time I watched it, that's really what I was feeling, was, wow, I could have rented this back, you know, back in the video store days. So it has that vibe, which is really great. And if you're my age, 34, well, about to turn 34 in May, you will get that feeling of, man, good old video store days, renting horror movies. So that was a great feeling I got from this film. I enjoyed that a lot. Anytime I can reminisce like that and think of the good old days with video stores, I love to do it. So I think that is everything I wanted to say about this movie. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything. There was a lot that I had, so yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. This was great being back doing my reviews. I've missed you guys. Thank you for hanging in there with me, and thank you for watching this. Like I mentioned, I will be having a different environment for my filming moving forward, so I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys ever have a movie that you would love for the Final Girls of Horror to review, please reach out to us. We now have an Instagram account. Again, I'll put all that information down below. So reach out to us. Let us know if you want us to review a certain movie. Let us know what reviews you liked and what reviews you didn't really like. I love feedback, and I just love spending this time with you guys. So again, thank you very much for joining me this week. Check out Mom if you have not seen it. I promise you, you will have so much fun with this movie. All right, well, thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to see System of a Down in Phoenix on Monday, so I am just dying of excitement. So I probably won't be seeing a lot of movies this weekend. Also, that just reminded me, I saw Scream last week, so I am also planning on doing a Scream 5 review. So look out for that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great weekend. Love you guys. Bye.